We are back on Inside Politics today. Our guest is Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally. Governor, we talked before about the thing with the council in Nashville. In the last day, there are lots of other bills that impact Nashville about this. What other bills are likely to pass? Because there's a bunch of them.
Well, I couldn't tell you which ones will pass and which ones won't pass. I can't really tell you which ones will be amended and in what manner they'll be amended, except there is one that deals with the convention center and the amount of revenue that is collected in excess to pay off the bonds, and we feel that that revenue should either be used to pay off the bonds or to provide maintenance to the facility, and also to provide police and fire protection in that particular area of downtown.
The original bill was going to basically end the tax period. Nashville's going to have to find some other way to pay for it, maybe a property tax increase to do that. That part's going to be changed, and now it's just you're going to limit what the money can be used for, because you feel like it's being used for other things besides what it was intended for.
It's going in, as we understand it, it's going into the general fund of the city, and we'd like to make sure that it's used, to either pay off the bonds, at an earlier date. I think they mature in 2026.
This same financing was going to be used for the new Titans Stadium, the $2.1 billion stadium. If the city approves that, I'm sure they'll be happy to know that kind of financing is still possible within limits.
Right.
The bondholders should feel good too, because they were quite concerned when that was going to be completely done away with.
We've worked with the comptroller and the treasurer on it, and I think that the money is actually state tax dollars that we give to the local government.
It seems every year the General Assembly has bills to pass that are more friendly to having guns and firearms. This year, you seem to be pumping the brakes on at least one of those proposals. What bill is that, and what is your concern?
Well, there's a number of bills, and a lot of them have been deferred. The one I think you're talking about is the one that would allow individuals to carry long guns in the city or anywhere, and with the exception of around schools. And I have a lot of concerns about that, and feel like that the concealed carry that we have and the open carry that we have is protection enough for an individual.
The big news at the beginning of the session was Governor Bill Lee's road program, which he talked about a lot in his State of the State address, where he getting rid of congestion with $3 billion to be spent from state coffers, and also build through the private sector some toll and choice lanes across the state. Are you supportive of that plan?
Yes, and it's going through the legislature, and we want to make sure that it is fair to all the three grand divisions of the state.
But you're not naming specific projects at this point, just that somehow it's going to be divided up three ways. This $3 billion is going to be used for road projects that's in the budget this year.
Right.
Where's that money coming from? What's happened to the money that we're supposed to get from the federal infrastructure, the bipartisan bill that passed through Congress last year?
Well, I think that's already been distributed, and this is excess state tax dollars that last year we had a number of projects we paid for, and they were recurring dollars, and we paid for them with one-time money.
I understand that there's a pledge by the Lee administration that the $3 billion will be allocated across the state, which you mentioned, all three grand divisions. But are lawmakers a little bit reluctant to go ahead and approve the whole program when they don't know exactly which roads are going to be which? I understand that's going to happen next year, but the controversy that happens. Everybody wants the project in their district done, and they're going to be disappointed when they're not in the list, at least for the first year or so.
Yeah, and right now it takes about 20 years for a project to get done when it's first put on the list until it's completed. And there'll be an effort to kind of shorten that time to about 5 years.
What do we need to do to basically change or repair the current system for roads. We do almost all of them through the gas tax, and the gas tax with electric cars coming in and just what's going on with gasoline efficiency, it doesn't go as far as it used to.
Right, it's flat and expenses have gone up. So one thing is we want to make sure the people with electric cars pay their fair share, and so there'll be an effort to increase the registration on electric cars, which now is at $100.
You're about 6 weeks into session. What's your goal to pass a budget and adjourn later this year, as the legislature normally does in the spring?
Well, when we're in session, people always ask us when we're going to stop. When we're out of session, they ask us when we're coming back.
These goals are good to have, but, different things come up. There'll be some bill nobody's ever heard of that suddenly ties the legislature up in knots between now and then. So what's the most realistic date that's still likely to come out?
I would think towards the end of April or the first part of May.
Now, your predecessor, Ron Ramsey, was very big about getting out of here by sometime in April.
Well, that would be good.
And you both have to travel back to East Tennessee every weekend. That's one of the reasons he wanted to make sure he got out of there as quickly as he can.
He had a large number of grandchildren that he liked to be with out on the farm.
But you've got great-grandchildren. You're looking to get back there, too, every weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here with what
has
happened the last couple of weeks and the last couple of days. Hope to have you back on again in the future.
Look forward to it. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. We'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get into politics in the meantime, you can go to News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capital News commentary there. New commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.